I did it. I got round trip airfare to Ireland for 35,000 miles and $79. I it can happen. I did it. I'm so excited. I leave in 2 months. And I did make one sort of rookie mistake, a different mindset, and I'll explain that to you later. Plus, I'll give you a quick life update, like why have I been gone for so many months? To explain how I did it, I'm going to oversimplify. 1, earn points. 2, redeem the points. Easy 2-step operation. I went to YouTube University and I watched all my regular YouTube channels about travel, which I have several that I like to watch. There's Retirement Travelers, Brian and Carrie, Finding Gina Marie, Grounded Life, Retirement Travel. All of them give some good advice about travel. So I've been doing that anyway. But I also started watching the people who talk about how to redeem your points. So how to get them, earn them, and then how to redeem them. So I'm going to tell you how I did that. To be clear, I'm a beginner at this, but the first thing you want to do is earn points. So I started that back in November. I got a credit card that had a really good welcome offer. I pay off my credit cards every month. That's my absolute goal. I'm not worried that I'm going to overspend. But I do have to watch it. But I got a really good welcome offer with American Express. And then I did another credit card, and both of those gave me really good points. I'm still doing that, like getting a credit card and earning the spend towards getting points. So I decided to do a DNA tour. What I mean by that is I had found out a couple of years ago where my DNA is from, the ancestry that I come from. I decided that was as good a place as any to start. Plus, I knew that if I got to where I couldn't travel and I had never seen certain countries, that I would be really disappointed that I hadn't seen those countries, particularly England and Scotland. That's where a large part of my DNA is from. So going to the British Isles was really important to me. And then I decided to go ahead and get the smaller percentages of my DNA in northern France, Germany, and Norway. Also, Europe is kind of expensive, as we all know. So I knew that having a limited time, like 6 weeks, might work better for me than to slow travel like I'm going to do in retirement. That's what I decided to do. Plus, the weather in Europe in the summer is supposed to be really good. So I know it's going to be very touristic, but I don't really always like all the touristy spots. I like a lot of nature stuff and some cultural stuff. That gave me a jumping off point. If I could get to Europe, then I can get around Europe pretty easily, hopefully. I've been to France before for several weeks. I studied there, but that's the only European country I've been to, and I'm hoping that transport between countries is pretty easy. So that's where I'm starting from. So I was on the lookout for anything to get me to Europe, any flight that was a good price to Europe. So I knew what I wanted. I signed up for a few of those points people emails, mostly because Brian and Carrie said it helped them find a good flight or a good trip. Each time I would get something from those guys, I would scan it to see if there was anything to Europe that worked for me. And lo and behold, something came in for Ireland. It's part of their Global Getaways program on Hawaiian. That's the other thing. You kind of have to learn what airlines are affiliated. So it came in on Hawaiian Airlines. And by the way, those guys have graphs and spreadsheets for those kind of affiliation because you're not going to remember all of it all the time. But I saw this global getaway to Ireland for 17,500 points one way. So I looked into it, and sure enough, from Atlanta to Dublin was 17,500 points and $18. and it only had one stopover. Now it's economy. I'm not saying it's going to be plush, but these points people who do this all the time, they're giving me hope that one day I'll get some good prices on business class or something like that. But right now, 17,500 miles and $18. So I checked into the return flight and it was 17,500 miles as well, but it was $62. So I said, yeah, that's it. Now, I sound really confident, but I wasn't. I kind of froze. I had to make a decision, had to analyze it and make a decision for a couple of days. And then I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And so I clicked on it. I watched one of the points guys do his version of the transfer he wanted to do. You had to start an account. I had to start an account. He already had an account with Hawaiian Airlines. And then I had to start an account with Alaska Airlines because this particular flight was offered through Alaska Airlines, but they're affiliated with Hawaiian. I was able to transfer some rewards points from American Express, but at first it was rejected because my name didn't match. One of them had my middle name and the other one didn't. So I had to call and say, no, I am the same person, first and last name, and they fixed it, and I was able to transfer the points. But then I had to transfer them from Hawaiian to Alaska Air. And again, I didn't have an account with Alaska, so I had to start an account. And I went through the whole transfer, and I made sure the flights were still available, and they were. And so I booked them. But when I got to the final submit for that booking, it said that it could not confirm my booking. And I didn't understand why, because both the flight there and the flight back said they were still available. So I couldn't understand why not. So, and by the way, I went from Hawaiian to Alaska and it was booked with American Airlines. That was who was actually doing the flight. So I called Alaska and they had to call American. And so I had to talk to a human. Normally they charge you money when you have to talk to a human, but they didn't because I wasn't able to complete it online. It took a while. And I do remember thinking while all that was going on, is it worth it? This is this is kind of stressful. It's taking a long time. And then I thought, I am saving hundreds of dollars. It's worth it. So I hung on the line and I got the confirmation they were able to do it. Oh, by the way, I upgraded on the return flight from economy to premium economy because it was only 5,000 more miles. And so now I'm at 40,000 miles. And I've never flown premium economy. So I thought it'd give me a chance to compare it. And I'll share it with you too. So if you can't tell, I'm kind of excited. So it is legit. They have sent me a confirmation email. Celebration time. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Oh my goodness. I am headed to Ireland in 2 months for $79. I'm so excited. Yes, and miles, but that's like free money, right? So very excited. Now, I did make one mistake. And again, like I say, it was more like it's not a huge mistake and I can maybe fix it. But I had this mindset of a vacationer. Somebody who goes on vacation and you fly in, you stay a week in a place and you fly out. I had a good rate to Dublin, but I didn't have to fly home from Dublin. I'm going to go through all the British Isles and across France and Germany and maybe up to Norway. And also my son wants to check out a master's program in Poland. So we're going to look at that. So I don't have to get back to Dublin to get back to the United States. That's the one mistake I made, was still thinking like somebody going on vacation when I'm going to be there for 6 weeks. So I'm going to see if I can get a flight home for more like Eastern Europe or I don't know, somewhere else, and not have to try to get back to Dublin. But if that's my best flight back, that's what I'll do. My quick life update, I have been doing that, getting that book, getting some equipment, some supplies to do travel with, because I did go to Quebec with my son and Disney World with my daughter. I got myself some things, backpack and different kind of electronics that I'm going to need for that. I've been working on work. That's the number one thing. Teaching started back in the fall and got me very busy. Also, I'm struggling a little with perfectionism, like trying to make sure I have my makeup on, which I don't right now, but I don't have to be perfect, right? Kind of that inner voice criticizing me. But the other things I've been doing is I've been doing repairs on my house and renovations, and I'm also going through my closet and starting to get rid of things. There's so much to do over the next, I'm not exactly sure how long, but I'll find an exact date. I just wanted to let you know that I've been thinking about you, the subscribers, and the people watching this video, and I hope you get some value from it. I hope today helped you to know that you can get a really good deal to wherever you want to go. I'll keep exploring. That's it. That's what's been happening with me. I hope that if you're new to my channel, that you'll subscribe. I'm Lydia and I'm retiring solo. Please subscribe if you want to, and definitely hit the like button if you got anything out of this. I would really appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.